Last time on We'll Save. Fear. Fear is what lies in this room. Rick 19, confronted by a terrorized Belita, struggled to regain control of his own emotions. After gaining control of himself, Rick 19 was able to perceive that the fear permeating the room was originating from speakers located in the corners. After calling this out, our fire team came into the room one by one to resolve the situation. Heerz, with some lucky work at the door panel, was able to shut down the speakers and end the fear factor. While our group found some release, the only release the Belita found was death. What's next for our companions? Find out this time on We'll Save.
You know what I hate?
What do you hate?
Christmas.
What?
Ho, ho, ho.
Yeah, I'm a Scrooge.
You're a
Why
Scrooge.
do you hate Christmas? Did something happen to you?
I think you got to jump right in. There's no more context.
I mean, yeah, who doesn't have a personal tragedy that has happened during Christmas? But I mostly hate commercialism.
Oh, that's a fair argument. I mean, my cousin posted something like 2 months ago that was Christmas trees already in the stores. And that's just... It's like Halloween hadn't even happened yet.
Come on, man. Yeah.
But Halloween was just last week, so...
I know. Yeah. Halloween was awesome.
Yeah, but like you have to have the Halloween, like, you have to have the month to buy and set up for Halloween.
True.
And that was already being invaded by Christmas.
Being taken over.
I should clarify. I don't actually hate commercialism because I do like to consume things.
Yeah,
but
who doesn't?
Who doesn't? But,
and if you don't like to consume things, write in.
Yeah, I'd like to hear from you.
Yeah,
but I think what I disapprove of during Christmas is when people go like, I don't know. I just see like so many people trotting on others just to get, like. The black markets, the Black Friday specials, all the trampling of other people in the spirit of Christmas. Come on, man.
They're trampling their bodies and their spirits.
Does that still happen? I thought everything's just online now.
Yeah, I feel like Cyber Monday is the new Black Friday. You just plan for it, And
you just trample on them digitally.
People will do anything to, save like a few bucks. Because,
true. It's pretty dumb.
They got to get those goods for, like, the pressure to get, presents and things. It's too much, man. Spread it out.
So anyway,
I think it's still going to be a big thing. There's a Best Buy just up the street from where I live, and I'll drive home, and even on non-Black Friday days, I see lines to go in that store going around the block still, even during COVID.
For what?
I wish I knew. Seriously, I wish I knew the answer.
Still not available.
Save $200 on a TV.
Yeah, could be game consoles.
Yeah, could be that.
Yeah.
Game consoles.
And
I still want a PS5.
I mean, I do too.
I'm surprised you don't have one yet. Oh, you don't really play console games so much, do you, Will?
I don't, because I don't have the latest and greatest because it's too impossible to get one.
But if you played Xbox, you could just have Game Pass and play on your computer or wherever you want. That's great.
Yeah,
Hashtag
I
Game
could do
Pass.
that. But then I'd have to give Microsoft more of my money.
As if you don't.
Will, I understand your pain. I understand your pain.
We should say that Will is a Linux guy. Just want to point that out.
Die hard.
I still haven't seen the ads for Linux Pass.
I make my own games.
Yeah, what was Linux share price again? Last I checked, I can't remember.
Yeah. Doesn't exist.
Doesn't exist. Wow. So
unless you count Red Hat or any countless other thousands of companies that Linux supports,
that's true.
Tacitly.
I think
probably
Linux
the stock exchange itself.
Yeah, that's probably true.
That's probably
That's true. That's true. Thanks, Linux.
Thanks, Linux.
Thanks,
I do like
Torvalds.
We're a pro Linux podcast. One of the few. You realize this is our first holiday season as a podcast, and this is what we're talking about: being pro Linux and how we hate commercialism. So it's
We're
good.
being pro, like,
really
around
good.
Christmas time, being pro some, like, organization that won't give us money to rep them either. But there you go.
Yeah, exactly.
What, Linux
you-
won't sponsor us?
And then we
if
issue
you do
Microsoft
want
to
sponsor
talk about how we don't
I
have
will,
PS5s.
I will gladly tell people to line up around the block to buy your things if you want to sponsor us.
Does Linux sell Linux machines, or do you just buy a computer and...
No, you buy it from other companies that sell them.
Someone was making a Linux phone at one point.
Just like, does Microsoft make machines? I guess they make the Surface, right?
yeah.
Hey, I am a proud user of the Surface Book 2.
And he has the most technical problems on this podcast.
Yes, he does.
Actually, that is true.
Oh, wow. That's good. So,
Yep. Bye-bye Microsoft sponsorship.
That just reminded me of the time
that's coincidence. Purely.
Nick sent
Totally.
a binary file, like, in Slack or something like that.
yeah, you did.
That was a funny day. We're like, we don't even know how that's possible.
That's
I
just
think, like,
Surface. That was
Rick
just
19
Surface.
understood it,
Surface.
though.
Yeah.
Of course he did.
Rick 19 understands, yeah.
So in general, I'm getting the feeling that we are kind of lukewarm on the whole holiday season.
Yeah.
No, I like it.
I like it for the other things, not for the vest. Yeah, anyways.
I
We don't
do
need-
enjoy snow.
we don't need
and I now
that.
live in an area that has snow.
You
So that's
do.
kind of cool.
You are the only
I like-
one.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're going to have to just send us a bunch of pics of you
But
in
don't
the
you think,
snow.
Oh, it's
The
going to be
lowlands of Maryland.
the lowlands?
The lowlands the marshes of
I
Maryland.
think, aren't we all? Isn't all of Maryland?
But can't you, like, are there, like, mountains down over there to ski on and stuff?
On the
like,
west,
to take
on the
advantage?
west side, but then you move into different states like West Virginia.
West Virginia has the
Oh, okay.
Appalachia.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Which is
Maryland,
beautiful.
Maryland stops at the mountains, I think.
Shit.
But
Shout out to any
It's,
fans who listen in West
it's,
Virginia.
We call them hills out here in California.
they're definitely
Yeah,
hills.
those
That's one
are-
of the big things I miss about California is like always having a mountain in the backdrop. That's definitely not a thing here.
But
You
You
just
do
look at the
realize-
distance, there's, like, some snowy fucking mountain. Like,
The Appalachians are like so much older than the mountains out here in California.
Yeah, they've eroded.
Yeah, they're
that's
older
why
and
they're
it's
that's why they're
just
so
like-
up.
yeah.
apparently...
So you're with the OGs, Kip. That's what's up.
Apparently, like, the Appalachia, like, were connected way back in Pangea days to, like, some mountains in Scotland and some other things. Like,
That's
they were once
awesome.
all the same range. Yeah,
Wow.
a long time ago. It's very old.
Get your flat Earth theories out of here.
I wish that we could just be back in the Pangea days. Hashtag one continent.
Just dinosaurs going around like,
before there was
like
any
while we're
heat,
trying to record.
Yeah, before there was all this continent.
before we were all divided.
Yeah, we were
When that
divided.
thing
But,
was everywhere.
yeah,
The continental divide.
yeah.
Giant fucking,
But,
like, caterpillars.
Come on, I was working up to that one. You guys didn't like it?
Continental divide.
The continental
Yeah.
divide.
Okay.
Yeah, it was good.
It divided
I'll
us.
give it to you.
No, okay.
I've been there.
I don't think it's punishment worthy.
No, I wasn't going for a punishment. I was just going for a bad joke.
Do you not shoot for the stars, Kev?
Aim for the moon, because then you're guaranteed to hit the stars.
Yeah, or you'll just miss entirely and go into orbit around Earth, which is what you did with that joke. So it's fine.
Ouch.
Just floating out
Is this
there.
like
Recognize the joke.
SpaceX joke or what?
I don't know. It keeps going
Yeah, just like your
Around-
joke
in orbit.
in orbit.
One day we'll know.
One day
We're
it will come
downriver,
back to Earth.
John. We're downriver.
Did you guys hear about the message in a bottle that was found off the coast of Hawaii that was thrown in the water in Japan in like 40 years ago or something?
No.
No.
Yeah, that happened.
What did it say?
I think I don't know. I didn't really read about
If
it.
you find this, email me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
40 years ago. So
yeah.
So
how
what,
it
like the
is.
70s? One of the 80s?
they knew it was old because it was a Hotmail email.
Here's my fax number.
Here's my AOL.
Oh, they
People
still use
still
faxes
fax.
in Japan.
Yeah.
Please
Japan's full
message
of
me on
faxing.
ICQ.
People still use faxes in the medical sector as well, military and medical, just because
those
files
are
need to
HIPAA
be
compliant.
HIPAA compliant and they're secure forms of transmitting messages.
I don't even know how to fax.
Yeah.
That's like
If somebody was like, you need to fax this or else I'm going to shoot you.
You have to have a cover page, and you have to know the
Why?
phone number.
Wait, really?
Because if you're faxing confidential information,
It has to say confidential information.
well, the cover page covers up any of the confidential information. It comes out first.
Wow.
Okay.
It's also just like, I think, protocol to just,
So, okay, but it's not like faxes aren't encrypted, are they?
I think they technically they're
I know
not
they're
not
encoded.
hacked. They're not able to be hacked, I don't think, because it's over the phone line.
Oh, that's a big deal, I guess.
So you could like wiretap somebody and receive the same fax.
I don't know, man. I'm not a hacker. It's your guys' domain.
Or I could probably like hit the print header or something and scrape it.
I don't even know what that means.
What language are you talking, Will?
Linux?
Just talking OPSEC, I don't know.
So, sounds like we're all pro-holiday. This is good.
Yeah, Christmas.
That's
This
what I
is
got
good.
from that.
Just
This is a
general
great intro,
holidays.
really.
This is great.
Christmas.
Christmas, Thanksgiving, Kwanzaa, Hanukkah.
Guys out there, let us know what your favorite holiday is, okay? And tweet us or something.
Also,
Wanna know.
let us know if you still use a fax machine.
Fax us.
Fax us.
Please teach Kelly to use a fax machine.
Yeah, actually, yeah, please do.
I have that problem too, but I just send it on, I think like sendafax.com works.
What?
Interesting.
Where you
Oh,
use
wow.
an email and it automatically faxes it for you.
Can we get
That's cute.
sponsored by Sendafax?
Oh my god. Holy
They
shit.
let
I
us
didn't know this was a
Say you
thing.
use a fax, send me the memes you really mean. Will you please send my message home to me? Oh, all I want.
Did you just write
He'll
this?
write a theme, a holiday theme for you.
Nick Belcher will compose a jingle for your company.
That was All I Want for Christmas by Mariah Carey, bastardized for fax machines.
Yeah,
But you just did that, though, off the top of your
you
head.
just
Yeah.
did
Yeah.
that.
Yeah,
That was
just
glorious,
happened.
dude. That was really good.
Yeah.
Do it again.
That was
that was
good,
great. Props. Props.
I'm ecstatic about it.
I'm more than ecstatic.
So, to slow that down, it was, say you'll send a fax of the memes you really mean. Will you please send a message home to me?
Sounds like a 90s commercial. I
This,
like it.
that sounds like
So good.
you have an advertisement. You just need an advertiser.
Yeah,
Nick.
I think so. I think if and when we were ever to do ads here on the podcast, they would just be you singing the ad
Yeah.
the
All-
entire
all-
time.
I mean,
Yeah.
actually, it
Yeah,
would have to
Swan.
become. It would have to come as at a premium. Because I
Absolutely.
mean, to be honest,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because when you have
if
talent,
anyone could pay me to, shill. I don't know.
But Nick sings for free.
but that's the point.
He
is
just
that
sings.
you shouldn't.
You're just gonna like
For our
stop
listeners, he
Nick
just
from
put me
singing.
off.
Nick, that wasn't a bad thing. That was just you just sing.
You're
I mean, I
always
sing for free, but I mean, I should charge because I'm that good.
You should charge. You absolutely
It's almost
should.
like you
Lots
should be a
of
professional
money.
singer or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're like golden, man. We
It's
gotta
like you
like,
trained or something.
yeah.
I have been
Did you
By the
go
way-
to school? Did you go to Berkeley School of Music?
Oh no, Will,
yeah.
no,
Wow,
no.
Will.
It was a joke.
Will,
That was a bad joke.
even I'm gonna just step
That
in
was a
here.
bad joke.
The rest
It
gonna
was a
step
bad
in.
joke.
No,
It's supposed to be funny because I mentioned it before in an episode.
you did.
Never mind.
And we probably got mad at you then too, because
Probably
Yeah,
got
you did.
mad then too.
3 out of
That's
5
what-
of us went to a real school.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, with a real football team and a real football coach.
Okay, yeah,
Right, Kev?
yeah. Let's not talk about that.
Wait,
You know
did
what we should
USC
do?
lose, Kevin? Is that what happened?
Oh, this whole season it's been terrible. But anyways,
I didn't know.
moving on. Carry on.
You know what we should do? We should play.
Yeah, let's
Let's
do that.
play.
Let's play.
Yeah.
Let's
do
steal
it.
your line. Sorry, John. That was your line.
Let's play.
Wait, no, you didn't steal my line. It's cool. I'll just send you a fax with an insult. So let's do one of those things that we in the industry call a recap. Take it back. Think about. Thank you. That was good. That was good. That was a little late, but it was good. It was like you faxed it to me. So I want to say that last week we found our passengers rested and recovered. The toil of several dangerous encounters, including a skirmish with a feral alien known as a Grey Bounder, who forced you into retreat. All of this wore down your bodies and your minds. So you decided to explore other doors, hoping to find out more clues about the crumbling environment all around you. Instead, danger appears to wait around every corner. As first you find a ferrofluid magnetic ooze, this technological creature, a byproduct of toxic industrial environments and chemicals. First, that was quickly melted away by you, our fresh-faced passengers. But what you found next, however, was equally, if not more disturbing. A room containing an experimental fear technique that transmits low-frequency sound or infrasound to elicit uncertainty, fear, and dread in any who hear it. And unfortunately, a bleed-in that had been trapped there and felt compelled by the frequency attacks you, all the while pleading and begging you to make it stop. And you shut off the frequency, and she collapses to the floor. And as you all begin to explore the room, Rick 19, you went to check on her, and she has just enough energy to say that she'll never make it back as her eyes roll back in her head. And she finally, perhaps for the first time in a long time, feels peace as she passes in your arms. So, Rick, what are you thinking? The four of you are in this room. I'll go to roll 20 and bring you guys over.
Nick is smiling. I feel like you enjoyed that moment.
Get out of here. Rude. No, Rick is like devastated. Like he recognized from the very beginning of like entering this room and like the responses and just like the interactions, he recognized that this wasn't an active hostile. They were being forced to do this. And we corrected it. We turned off the sound. And then she died in his arms as he's trying to save her. And I think he's devastated by that. It's never easy to watch somebody die, especially somebody who's innocent. And, you know. Yeah.
Not what I expected to hear from you, but I'm glad that you
not what I
felt
expect
that
from
way
a murder bot.
about this passing centipede thing.
Murder.
So what do you guys want to do? I believe Heerz, you were going... Dr. OK, first you went over to the computers to see if you could find out anything more about it. I think Heerz, you went over there too. Nico, you were going to destroy the loudspeakers that were emitting this frequency. There's no threat from these loudspeakers. And there's a dead Boliden in front of Rick.
Mm-hmm.
Can I do like a knowledge check of some sort to it'd be a pride culture to know where Bolitas are like from?
Yeah, that's fine.
Really?
I think,
and I'm going to ask Dr. OK about it because he's
okay.
He's within earshot.
Yes.
Dr. OK, do you happen to know where Bolitas are? What is the word for it? I'm running a blank. Sorry.
Their origin?
Yeah, their natural habitats that are Mm-hmm. That's Kevin speaking, not Rick.
Yes. I will probably have to roll some sort of roll to try and understand that question, Robot.
I think you guys did that last time, though.
Not to know where they're from.
Okay.
I rolled a 20 with a +2 on culture, so 22 to know, like, what planet is their origins.
What planet are they from? They are from the Bolitas home. The Bolitas home planet is called Zaphiga. And they were only really, I think, discovered probably a few decades ago. And they are considered minors, again, because they have these, like, there are arthropodin creatures with this, like, chitinous body that look like, what would you say, like a, maybe like a centipede, but then like a centaur centipede, because their upper body is like vertical.
I mean, she looked menacing, like
centipede like kind of, but their plates are like metal and they cover their whole body. And they mine, and they can go deep into planets, and their home planet is Zephiga.
Are they playable characters? Because that's going to be my backup character.
I think they are. They are playable characters. There's no reason why you can't be a Bolita.
It sounds something I don't want to be.
Yes, what he said.
Also, one thing I like, this line in their thing in the Alien Archive too. Digging is a euphoric activity for Bolitas, and they spend a large portion of their lives creating new tunnels and caves to house their ever-expanding populations.
Well, Rick was going to try to find some kind of like item on this poor Bolita and try to take it back to the homeworld, but he doesn't plan on going down to mines anytime soon, so he's just going to perform like a last rites. Close her eyes and let her lay there.
Are you okay?
No, seriously, yeah. Rick is going to do almost like he's going to like cross her arms over, lay her weapon down beside her, and almost put her out in like a ceremonial. Like she's a victim of this. She's not just another monster we ran into.
Give me a perception check.
What? Oh my god! 18 on the die. And a +6, so it's 24 for perception.
24. That's a really great perception. You get the sense their heads are armored in the front, like in their forehead, and then going back. But there's a part of it where on the side where it's unarmored because they have these antennae that are coming up, and you can tell that there's something. It's like something went off
like
in their
with
head.
The Greys earlier. Okay.
Yeah.
Or maybe something was implanted there, and it some sort of constraint.
Did we cover?
Is there any evidence of that? Could we examine the body?
If you wanted to do a medicine check, I could say that with the right roll, you could confirm whether you think that's
so.
the case.
As Rick is doing it, he turns to Dr. OK. Dr. OK, it appears as if something happened to this Bolita as well. Can you please investigate it further?
Yes. Yes, I see. And I rolled a 18 plus 12.
I'll support.
That's awesome.
With
30,
a 7
so it's a 30.
plus 6, I support.
You aid?
Yeah.
Well, you can't aid if you're not trained in medicine,
I am trained in medicine now.
That's right, you are.
Because I ran a medicine check on her last time, and you told me it wasn't good enough.
That's true.
And I scored really good on that medicine check too.
You are certain, Dr. OK.
I'm really sad about this Bolita dying.
You are certain, Dr. OK, that there was some sort of cortex bomb. And given that this Bolita, she was in this room where there's testing going on, probably something done by the Greys, and that's what ultimately killed her. And I get why you're sad, Kev. This is the first individual, especially since leaving the Chimera, right? Because people died on the Chimera, and you're like, what the hell's going on? Then now that you've come out, this is the first being that you've met that is one, not actually aggressive, and two, is kind of like you in a way. Like they're here. They don't know what's going on.
Can I do a retroactive medicine check to see if everybody on the Chimera that just passed out randomly at the end died from the same cortex bomb? Like Lozu and the pirates. And
also, Nico wants to ask Dr. OK if he's able to do a scan of our bodies to see if we have any.
I'm just thinking the same damn thing.
I perhaps could tune my custom microlab. I don't know, actually, but I'd love to do that.
Give me a roll. Give me a wisdom check, Kev.
A wisdom check? I don't know if I have.
Rick and Heerz.
I don't have any wisdoms.
You have 0 wisdom?
I have 0 wisdom, yeah. I have a 7 for that.
7 for that.
One moment.
Heerz?
12.
12. Okay. Rick, you're not quite sure, but Heerz is like the way, maybe right as this Bolitan died, Heerz, although you're across the room, all the lights are on in here, right? So you look across the room and you were able to watch the Bleeding die, and the way that the Bleeding's eyes rolled back into her head reminds you of the way that, for instance,
Exactly.
Low Super Heer's eyes rolled back in her head. So 12 is not enough to confirm, but you can link something. You don't have anything saying it's not the case.
I mean, what is this? I guess this bleed is from, I don't know. This wasn't grown in
It's
a vat
from
here,
Safiga.
though. Like, it was literally, like, taken
plant.
here, I'm guessing. Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
probably.
I think it's got to be the same. So Heerz tells that to the group. That the way that this guy died looks a lot like how everyone else died on the Chimera. Reminds me about how Lozu died. Eyes rolling in the back of her head before collapsing, etc.
Now that you say that, I remember that as well. It did look quite familiar. I wish we had time to go back and investigate.
Wish we did.
There's another rumble.
Oh well.
Let's
get out. Fuck it. Let's go.
Just don't want to run.
I don't want to stay in this hellhole any longer.
We already got off all the information we could from these computers, right? Like, we tried to scrape info, and it was...
Wait. Before we go any further, we have to think about this. Is it possible that we have these same Cortex bombs located in our spines?
Doctor.
That was like a open question to all of you.
I don't know if I can check for that, but I can try, right?
I feel like you can, because you have both your chemalizer and... Describe to me the exact equipment that you have. You got your med kit.
I have a
You have
medical
some Band-Aids,
supplies,
you have a
testing
Red Bull.
materials, pharmaceutical compounds, and equipment to evaluate medical conditions and perform several additional tasks described below. Do all kinds of stuff, like medkit, chemalizer. That's probably like the two big ones. So like the chemalizer,
That's what I thought.
it's like a wand tipped with a nozzle for sampling different chemicals, so I could trace maybe like chemical alloys and like whatever's in that cavity to see if there's common. Maybe I could probe us.
Do you have any type of I don't know, magnetic? Do you have any type of MRI capability in that?
Part of the custom microlab also allows for attunement to other creatures and individuals. Like, I can readily identify, let's see, tune your microlab to creatures in excess of this number, blah, blah, blah. Once attuned, I can inject you guys, I can deliver drugs directly to you without having to make a roll for it.
But how does that search for a bomb in our own heads?
So I would feel like I could be able to sample through that same process, right?
Yeah. My thought is maybe that if you had something that could scan, then that's the first way, just like Nico was saying, right? If you had some sort of MRI, that's the best way. You just get an image of your body. The other way would be, that you sample, and what I would maybe say is that you would have to take time, either like an hour or something, to try and work through and just make a roll. I wouldn't make it super hard, but the point is that you have to do the research to see if you can pull anything out from that blood sample.
Yeah, I tell Rick and the others, I could start working right away on this, but it will take some time, and science isn't always exact in the sense.
I still have that laser drill if you need to use that.
Well,
I always need a laser drill.
Nico's also going to suggest, and before he does it, he wants to ask the game master. With
Nico
the
asked the game master?
Nico lifts his head to the sky
Nick's
and
gonna,
shouts.
sorry, Nico.
Okay, master!
Nico is praying to some foreign god.
Nico,
Guys, what is Nico doing?
all right, I'm asking John here. With the parts that I've accrued, and with the combination of Dr. OK's custom microlab, could they kind of fabricate some sort of primitive MRI device that might be able to scan?
I don't think you could do that within the course of an hour. I think you would.
Could we do that
If
over the
you
course
had
of a
the
couple?
I
access
mean, it makes more sense to try and do an ultrasound in that case with the speakers that are found here in this room. But
We could do that.
no,
If you guys want to do that, I'm gonna. Oh, good.
I think we try to just do the attunement route, or try to find some equipment here that might be able to help us know whether or not who's at the control of these devices, right? Like setting them off. Is it like a remote operator, or is it like somebody, programmed them to go off if certain conditions are met?
Well, there was a camera. But yeah, Rick will say that out loud. Like, if you guys don't have the capability now, we should just keep our eyes open and keep moving. This place is about to collapse.
Agreed. Let's try to do that later. You need help getting that out of that head, Doctor. Okay, that sample.
I think John, GM, almighty GM, could you tell us, can I sample and take it to go?
Yeah,
Nico.
Cut her head off.
Nico wants to see whatever he can scavenge from a technology standpoint from the room.
Okay.
Quickly.
So, Dr. OK, you're going to sample the Belieden or each other?
The cavity where I believe the device that caused the explosion within the head.
Mm-hmm.
I want to do tissue samples from various parts that I think are biased for that chemical, and then I'm going to sample parts that I think are, liver, kidney, thigh
Do a
tissue,
full
whatever.
autopsy.
Right.
Yeah, if you want to do a full one, I'm going to say it's going to...
Just picking up
just from the head?
2 sets of samples.
Okay.
One from the infection site and one from the rest of the body to see if there's I can isolate. And then later on, I will try to isolate those from us if, I'm trying to detect trace elements of something that I don't know exists that exploded in somebody's head. Right?
I think it's pretty easy to use your tools, but as you go up and this massive creature is on the ground. I mean, they're not large, but they are a big arthropoding creature. And so I don't know if you're doing this dispassionately or if you're I'm really sorry, but you are able to kind of...
I make a solemn prayer to my deity, Yara Isa, and I approach, and with all the respect, I seek to understand the knowledge so that I may keep this horror from other people.
Yeah, it feels like when you're hunting and you use all parts of the animal, it's you're just, not that Belieden is an animal, but this same mentality of this is meant to their death helps you out. It's not in vain.
Before I forget, is that spear? Can you tell us what that spear is? Is it better than my tactical axe?
Is it better than your tactical axe? Yeah. It is a tactical pike. Is that better than your?
I gotta look it up, but
yeah, I don't have the stats in front of me right now.
Advanced, or I guess it's
just
advanced.
A tactical. That's probably the base one for whatever that is.
Oh, tactical.
So,
yeah,
Dr. OK, you do go up. You are able to reach and feel. You kind of maybe grimacing, or maybe not. You're a trained professional, so maybe not. You are able to kind of move some of the chitinous plate out of the way, or at least get your analyzer in there and pull up some tissue from the back of her head, and then you are able to find a soft spot maybe on the rest of her body and pull up another tissue and put that in a vial. Oh, so Nico, you are looking for material. I will say that what I texted you earlier about, I think I had said that it was what did I say? It was about 25 UPBs
plus some gold and silver wiring. It was, hold on, let me read it exactly. 25 UPBs as well as 25 credits of gold and silver wires that together weigh about 1 bulk.
Yeah, they probably don't weigh about 1 bulk because I'm realizing that 1 bulk is a lot. So it wouldn't be 1 bulk, but given everything that you have picked up already, that might start to be totaling around 1 bulk. Mm-hmm. So it's not a lot, but you are able to pull a little bit of stuff.
Okay.
Okay, so
While they're clearing out the room, Rick tells them, looks back and just says, I'm going to start moving forward.
Yes, I think that's a good idea.
And there's no other way out of this room, right? There's only one door?
correct.
Okay, so yeah, he's
From
going
what you can
to head back into the hallway and kind of just scan the hallway while they're working on their stuff.
Nico's going to kind of have his back up to the wall and by the door with his pistol kind of facing toward the ceiling and his sword kind of by his side while watching everybody go out the room.
Okay.
Just kind of bringing up the rear.
Okay. Yeah, so you all walk out back into the hallway where there's just a puddle on the floor where that ferro fluid ooze was. It's a little sticky, kind of burnt. The air smells like burned plastic a little bit. It's not a very great odor. And you all start to... There's still the door to your right. If you're looking in the hallway, there's a door on the right.
Yeah, so there were 3 doors. The one we came from, the one we just came out of, those are across the hall from each other. And then there's a third door on the same side as the room we just came out of. And so Rick is going to head over and kind of wait for them when he's ready. And he's going to pull out his azimuth laser, artillery laser for this one.
Did you take the tactical pike?
No, it's only a 1d8.
Dr. OK, if you have proficiency with melee weapons, that wouldn't be the worst weapon for you, dude.
Dr. OK, you probably should take it if you have advanced melee, because it also has a plus 10. It's a 10 foot reach, so you can be 2 squares away instead of 1. It's pretty good for attacking.
Fun. I don't believe that I have advanced melee.
Do you take it, Dr. OK?
I don't know if I could wield such a weapon. I don't think I have advanced melee proficiency.
Double check,
Okay.
make sure it's advanced. I thought it was when I looked, but I'd have to dig deeper, and I don't personally care to.
All right, so you guys walk up to the door. It looks like Rick is at the door. Here's Nico and Dr. OK. You're standing a little ways away, but you're ready to
it's
see
the
what
door up
happens.
here. Are they?
Yep.
Okay.
I'm going to stand right there.
And if they're all ready, then Rick's going to push the button and hold his gun up.
Okay. You walk up, walking away from... I can imagine it must be a little odd to walk away from this creature that died, and then you left it there, and you just have to move on. So, as you step forward, press the button, the door opens, and your view of this room is dominated by a jagged crack that splits the northern wall and it extends onto the floor and onto the ceiling. And as soon as you open the door, it just, this rush of air, you feel like the air is frigid cold. There's pale ice that fills this crack in the wall. The wall looks like a demonic grin full of flat, serrated, icy teeth. What's weird is that there are bolts, mounts, wires hanging from the ceiling and the wall that show where objects might have once been, but in all other ways, the room is completely empty, and I will reveal it. There's one light in the northern left corner, one purple light that just barely casts out any light, but in general, it's just an empty, frigid, cold room with this crack in the middle of it.
I'm going to do perception.
I'll do that with you, Kev.
13 plus 6 is a 19.
13 plus 7 is 20.
15, 19, 20. Here's 15. Here's, you got what, sorry?
15.
15. It looks like everything that you see. The room appears totally empty. There's one dim light and just a giant crack filled with this pale ice.
You're a giant crack filled with pale ice, John.
It's like music.
So Rick's going to step into the room.
Does a 27 get me anything?
Sorry, Dr. Okay, what?
Does 27 get me anything?
You don't see anything more than what they see.
Well, Rick's in the
So,
room, so whatever happens now.
Yeah, Rick's already in the room.
Okay.
Is the crack there any indication? Is it from this destruction, or is it from with all the shaking and rumbles?
Give me an engineering or physical science, or if any of you have a profession, maybe it would help with that.
I got a 20 on engineering.
I have engineering as well.
20 from Dr. Okay.
I assist with a 27.
I have a 4.
All right. That is a 16 plus 9. That's 25 on my engineering check.
Okay, so everybody but Rick. Rick, you think that this is just a cool part of the room.
Whoa, look at that giant crack. It's cool.
What? That's huge.
Silly
That's
Rick.
crazy.
It kind of looks
Rick,
like a
you
butt
should
crack.
stay away from that crack, perhaps.
You think that this crack came from some sort of damage. It's likely the case that this damage and the source of this damage is external, out beyond whatever is on the other side of this wall. And whatever happened, it blew through, and whatever was here was pulled through the crack. And the crack is both ice, and you think maybe some sort of emergency sealant.
I don't
like,
think
seals
that
it up.
we should remain in this room. Perhaps we should back out and lock it.
Not so fast, though, Doctor. Okay, I think we should investigate the room. Maybe see if there's another way through. So far as
You
we've
want to
seen, there isn't
investigate
another
the-
door to go
Okay.
to any other part of the ship.
Wait, this is something I wanted to
There is another
I forgot, and I just didn't bring it up earlier, was the whole thing with that feral bounder. He said that was an airlock door. So we still don't know where we are, if we're on a planet or a spaceship or an asteroid, we don't know. But the room that the airbounder was in was technically an airlock. So
And then there was a door on the other side of that room. There was
Yeah.
another door in there.
yeah. So it was like an airlock chamber.
Right, but I was saying for Nick, because Nick was like, there's no other door. I was like, there was a door there.
Oh no, that's the way out. Like that's the only way out we know of so far. This is the there's
Yeah.
no. We went through every other door except for this room and that airlock. So like we're gonna have to go fight that bounder at some point. Is what it seems like, unless we melt this crack and go through this way.
Probably not a good idea.
I think it would decompress this. No? I guess we have suits, but
I'm of the mind with Dr. OK. I don't think we should melt the crack here. I think we should. I think that would cause a decompression blast.
Yeah. I mean,
I would concur with that. There and then, can I see the end of this wall here? Since I do have dark vision.
Yeah, let me.
It's just covered in shadows on my roll 20.
Oh,
Yeah, same.
It's just a wall.
It's just a wall. So there's nothing else significant in this room except for the giant crack.
It's just a giant crack. Here,
Which shoots it.
you just walked out, but give me either.
just technically, I never got in. I just let Dr. OK get through if he needed to, in case that's
Okay.
relevant to
Can
what
I-
you're
well,
going to
and-
say. But go ahead.
I was gonna have somebody give me either a mysticism check, or since you cast
Okay.
magic.
Well, my mysticism is
much.
good. I'll do it. So I'm a mystic. Well, it's just a 16, but
Maybe you felt it with the rush of frigid air. Then, so give me a mysticism check.
16.
I'm gonna roll intimidation on the ice.
Roll intimidation on the ice.
16.
Oh,
I also have detect
14
magic.
plus
I
3.
I'm going to use my life science to identify by mysticism.
Nico wants
Easy.
to take a look to see if there's any technology in the room, any type of computers, cameras, anything.
Okay, so let's go one by one. Let's start with Rick. You intimidated the ice. What do you say?
Yeah, he just points the laser and he like pulls the trigger just enough to like charge it up, and he's like, "You better tell these guys everything you know."
Please.
I rolled a 17 on it.
There's a little mouth there.
Tomorrow's my daughter's quinceañera. Please no. Here's
Rick 19 is such a murder
Rick is
bot.
going
He murders
insane.
ice.
Yeah, pretty much. He's lost it. Finally.
Yeah, so Rick's going insane.
Yep.
Dr. OK, you do compression, or
I use my
Life science?
pious scientist ability, praying once again to Yari's, to identify
something normally identified by mysticism. I can use life science.
That's neat. Yep.
So I rolled a 16, plus my life science is 13 for 29.
And here's what'd you get on yours?
Just 17, I think.
17. And Nico, what was your perception check?
Perception check. It's not very good. That's a 1 plus whatever is 7. That's an 8.
You don't need much to know that this room is empty. There's nothing.
All right.
There's nothing. There's nothing that remains. Here's maybe as the door opened again, you felt it with the frigid air, and you didn't think about it, except as soon as your mind locked onto it, it's like a scent that you're like, oh, I definitely know. I definitely recognize this. And I'm trying to think, Dr. OK, of how you might feel this. Maybe it's like I'm trying to think of a way to tie in the pious scientist with like the mysticism check here.
My deity speaks to me in a spirit that informs my intellect, how to proceed and what I should look into and what clues I can identify.
So maybe as you're praying, this chill comes over you that's not from the frigid air. And both of you, I think, independently realize that there was magic in here. There's a faint aura. If you had cast Detect Magic, there's a faint aura of extraplanar magic, and that extraplanar magic is tainted with supernatural evil. And Dr. OK, as soon as you feel that, because you succeeded so well on your DC, you know that the energy here is abyssal in nature. It's probably that something demonic was once right here in this room and now is gone.
This is not good. Something evil has been here to cause this, to wield it somehow. I don't know, but something dark and evil.
Can we just review what you guys found on that computer in the beginning? One room was for infrasonic
weapons.
Yeah, infrasonic weapons. Another room was transmorphic weapons. Could this room be the demonic weapons they were talking about? Did they possibly interact with a demonic side and cause the destruction of their own laboratories?
It's certainly a possibility, though it did say on the system that they were only partially successful. Also, I'd like to point out that it's been my experience that evil is in action, not in alignment. Maybe
#liabilities.
#liabilities.
So liabilities.
What makes you say this was evil?
I will jump in here and just tell you that not to disprove your theory, but it's just in the sense that, like, technically the creature is evil.
Yeah.
Like, it is an evil creature.
Heerz will tell that
mechanically.
Nico. He'll be like,
As a magic user, there are really, truly things that are evil by nature.
and he's also just going to do detect magic real quick just to see if he can, because I think he can figure out
Yeah,
certain spells.
Nico,
Whatever.
you may not be evil. You're just a bad person.
It just does bad things.
Thanks, Rick 19. I just go by what people want and what I want and make sure it aligns.
But what we are talking about here is truly demonic. And the Greys were messing with that.
Yes, what they want is destruction for everything.
We don't know that. We don't know what they want. We haven't talked to one of these things yet.
No, that is their nature.
John. I cast detect magic. Can I find anything else besides this? what you just said.
You don't know too much other than that. Obviously, there's some sort of hybrid of science and magic going on here.
Okay. Well, I guess from this role, I might now know that it's abyssal without having to ask Rick.
Right. Yeah. You would know right from without having to ask Dr. OK. I'll also say that, from everything you said before, it's like you weren't entirely successful, but something did happen here. We talked before about how like there were a lot of iterations of things, and then something happened.
Okay.
And whatever's here is probably that something.
Is there anything in the room, any kind of text on the walls or any notebooks laying around? Because, two of us speak Aklo, so we would at least be able to understand.
I can read abyssal, actually, but I don't think there's anything.
That's awesome. No, there's nothing in here.
What? And
Just a spell.
Nico's going to ask the group, like, what is this abyssal? I'm not really I don't have a lot of faith as part of a religious background here. I don't even know if I truly believe in these parlor tricks. Like, you guys say it's abyssal. Like, it's just some fundamental law of the universe that something is evil. Explain this to me. I've just found that people act according to their nature and wants.
Abyssal is a demonic nature. There are creatures from it. They're chaotic. They're evil. They're from a place called the Abyss.
What do
Demons.
they want?
Depends on the one. They're really selfish. And they just want to cause harm. Like psychopaths,
Death. They want everything to be like their pit of death. I don't know.
And what is in the Abyss?
I don't want to find out.
Suffering.
If you guys are right, then we probably will. Might as well hash it out now. We gotta know our enemy first, if they are our enemy.
Heerz is doing an internet check, but he can't determine
This
anything.
is going tangential.
Nico is gonna do kind of like a culture check just to kind of see what the short story, any kind of tall tales in his mind, they would be tall tales. He might have heard about this.
But it wouldn't be tall tale. Would it, John?
I'm saying
Depending
Nico's.
if he was,
I'm saying Nico's perception with that he would interpret them as tall tales. Everyone else,
It would be like a
that.
culture check.
So
if he was a sheltered kid, raised within in a society that didn't believe in the supernatural, then it's possible.
that's a 22 for culture.
22 for culture.
Oh, I will also do that.
Can I roll culture also?
Sure, that's fine.
18. I was gonna say
24.
Maybe on something that would be akin to like an All Saints Day, or something that was trying to tie people and corporations and governments that people wanted to call perverse. Then they would invoke the Abyss, because the Abyss it's a plane. It's a layered plane that starts as like giant canyons and yawning chasms in the fabric of some of the outer planes, and it's just a perversion of freedom. It's like a nightmare realm with demons as well as some of the oldest beings.
Nico's going to kind of relay that to the rest of the group, and like, the stories I heard were of demons and ancient beings older than the universe itself, things that any rational person couldn't possibly believe. Doesn't make sense. It doesn't add up.
Just because you haven't seen something doesn't mean it doesn't exist.
Also, some people, like, we know of people who have seen these things, right?
I mean, personally,
I've met quite a few people. I haven't met anybody who does
like
that.
in the Starfinder universe.
yeah, but
It's not
Nico
like-
might not have. You got to
You
keep
could
that
like
in
buy
perspective.
artifacts from like the Abyss.
There are things like there's something called a fever stone or abyssium, which is like
Yeah.
a radioactive metal that it is basically
You
But,
can
like,
it
it's like
allows
trade
the
goods.
connection between the material plane and the abyss.
It's like saying Japan doesn't exist.
No, but it's like think about Nico's perspective. Is he was raised, as a single child as part of this corporation that like they could buy anything and everything. So like to him, none of it has like real. It's not real, right? Like it would be like him. It would be like somebody today being super rich and then buying like, I don't know, the Ten Commandments on stone, and just thinking like, yeah, they're just rocks and they're cool artifacts like of the history. You know what I mean? Like it's a cognitive dissonance going on in his world.
Yeah.
Like he doesn't realize it. He doesn't recognize it.
I
Exactly.
won't engage with cognitive dissonance.
Say again?
As a character.
Say again?
Like if you're not present, I don't know where to begin. And then he walks off.
that's a very valid argument. Yeah.
And then he walks away. Okay.
Here's just
But Rick
intimates.
will,
Nico,
yeah,
it's real.
Rick will put his hand on his shoulder and be like, I understand where you're coming from. I have not experienced anything beyond what we have here. I can see where you would see fallacy in the things in front of you. And he pats him, he just kind of squeezes and walks off.
For all of you, this might be the first time that you're in a place where it would be like us as a group walking in someplace and being like, oh, there's a demonic ritual going on here. Cool. I knew that happened, but now I'm here. I'm literally here. It's like when you go to like any like major historic site and you're like, this is where it happened.
It's
Right
like
here.
ghosts. Like we all know ghosts exist, but like none of you have experienced it but me.
Well, I don't know if they do
That was
exist.
a joke.
Thanks for
But,
one. That was a subtle one out. That was subtle.
Yeah, because like Kevin just has a host of really cool ghost stories, but thanks for flexing with your ghost stories.
Yeah, it's cool.
Guilty is charged with the ghost stories.
Yeah, sorry we haven't
So what do you guys
experienced
wanna do?
horrible shit like that. But
Nico's just kind of, everyone else is going to leave the room first. Nico's just going to be kind of, he's going to look around the room a little bit kind of in disbelief, but he also can't shake what he's seeing either. So he's going to take a deep exhalation and he's going to put his pistol up in the air and grip his sword just a little bit tighter. Just a little bit tighter. But he's
And
also,
as he breathes out, he sees a fog coming out of his mouth.
I like that too. I like that, Kev. Thanks for that. That was really good, actually. I mean that sincerely.
You do that. Yeah, that's a
really
cool
cool.
image.
And
This is a cold place.
and Nico is just he's also gonna think about what Rick said, and he's gonna think about the action too. And the first thought was, that was an oddly human thing for an android to do. And he's just gonna take a note of that and move on. But
Okay.
it's something that he's made an observation of.
Okay. So what do you guys want to do now? You all walk out.
Rick's going to discuss with the group, like as soon as Nico comes out of the room, like the four of us are together, he's going to just say like, there's only one path forward, and it's through that monster.
I think we're ready this time.
Yes.
Nico's gonna be like, told you we'd have to fight him.
No one disagreed.
We fight on our terms.
Well, you already agreed to go first, so. And just to be clear, like that is the only the way through that boundary is the only door left. We don't have any other options here. We didn't miss any other hallways or something. That
You're fairly confident there's no other way out.
Nico's gonna pause. Nico's gonna hold the group here. He's like, guys, we need a strategy. And he's gonna say, does anybody have any grenades left?
I have one incendiary grenade.
All right.
Also, Heerz, your supercharge works pretty well, from my experience.
Here's our
It
plan.
does.
We're
If
gonna
you
go
can
ahead.
make the shot, you'll be good. What's up, Nico?
Here's our plan. We're gonna go ahead and we're going to pre-program the door to only open slightly, just slightly enough for a grenade to go through the aperture, and then we'll close it again. The grenade will detonate, and at that point, the next time we open the door, it's going to be supercharge time, and we're just going to take shots and light the thing up.
sounds good. I can supercharge that weapon because that's a weapon.
You can supercharge a grenade.
Well, I think it's a weapon, right? Technically.
No, not the grenade, the supercharge the artillery
I
laser.
mean, if you can supercharge a grenade, that might be.
Can I?
I don't know.
I mean, it says just weapons.
I'd have to read supercharge. You
Yeah.
Just
gonna
says
pull it up and see?
it
It
says
just
like
says weapon.
target weapon, literally anything.
Damn.
Target one weapon. It's not specific. So
I will say that I don't know that grenades are technically considered weapons. According to the rulebook. I think they are, so I feel like you can. what would it do? It would probably just add maybe another d6.
For
right?
46, I think. Yeah, 46 additional damage.
Because it's 2d6, so
No, it's
it would add 46?
Yeah, it does. 46 additional damage to the damage that's dealt by the weapon.
That's intense.
That's why it's crazy.
I mean, it's under ranged weapons on
Then
my hero.
then I think you could supercharge a grenade. No reason to say you can't.
All right, I'll bless this grenade,
I'm not going to say no to cool stuff.
and well, let's do
It's a
it.
holy hand grenade.
I think that's a good idea, Nico.
Yeah, and it's right on the weapons table.
We should make sure that
in the
Bounder's
book,
in there.
so-
I don't want to waste a supercharge. But yeah, let's do it.
All right, let's.
I think that we should throw the grenade and supercharge my artillery laser.
I agree with. I agree with Rick 19.
I don't know if I do.
I was almost gonna call Rick 19 Chrome Head again or Chrome Dome again.
The thing is it's really hard to like. What's the range of a grenade? How many squares are we attacking here?
20 feet, right?
Sorry.
I mean, I like Nick's idea. So Nick's idea is that we crack open the door just enough to throw the grenade,
Right.
and the room is only so big. I'm pretty sure the detonation range of the incendiary grenade is bigger than that room.
15
If that's
feet.
the case, then we should supercharge the grenade because you might miss shooting.
It's a
That's
15-foot
true. Radius,
radius, yeah.
So 30 feet.
and that room is
Yeah,
room
it's
is
a
smaller
30-foot
than
diameter.
30 feet, right?
It would encompass a lot of the room. It's true.
Yeah. There we go. Let's go back. Let's do it.
Are we at all worried about the structural integrity of this vessel throwing grenades into small rooms? Probably.
If you
not.
supercharge it, that might.
I am not concerned about the structural integrity of a building that's about to collapse on its own.
We'll have to shoot one way or the other.
That's what I mean. I don't want to exacerbate it. We gotta get out of this place.
All right. Well, we're all here.
Faster the better. Let's throw some grenades.
I like how we're like casually having this conversation as we're walking back towards the room where we're going to do this.
Just
Yeah.
jaunting along. Yeah.
Just
I mean-
for the listener, like we're slowly moving our characters through the Roll20 all the way
Yeah.
back through all the different rooms.
We're just that good now.
I do like the idea though that like I don't know, you guys have seen literally stuff that is the stuff of nightmares in here, and you've almost died. And I think it makes sense that you got to bring some levity to the situation.
I mean, after all we've been through, we're like, oh well. Cheerfully walking along.
It's fine. It's fine.
You just kind of as Nico approaches the door panel, he kind of mutters to himself again. Nothing matters but the truth.
He's like,
So
all right.
you all, okay.
Nico's losing his mind.
Don't forget that there are two doors.
Mm-hmm.
There's one that there's like right. So there's the first door, and then there's another door.
Nico
You can-
opens the first one, but as he says this, nothing matters but the truth. He says it kind of casually, kind of like it's a joke. So like,
As you open that first door, Rick's already got his rifle up, just in case that bounder made it through the second door already.
so
And let me step back one more. Just
Well, so you guys can see in there, right? Or no?
is there a window on it?
No, but where the doors are, can you see past them? Because I don't have anything preventing you
No.
from seeing that on Roll20.
no.
No. Well,
Well, no. So you have to take us to the other
we
map.
can't
There's a
see
second map.
past that second set of doors. Yeah.
Yeah, but you can see past the first set,
Yeah.
right?
The first set I can see,
We can see
one square,
into
maybe 1.5 squares.
We can see
Okay,
4 squares. We can see like the airlock.
See the whole
Okay, so
leads
put
into the
yourselves
office.
there how you're going to be when you open the door. Or are
Yep.
you going to open it? Because I think somebody's going to need to go in and open the door.
I think
Somebody's going to need to go open it.
Nico's gonna do it.
Okay.
here's going to be behind
Well,
Nico.
so
'cause he's going to help him supercharge.
are we talking to the first door or the second door?
Second door.
Second door.
So we're already open the first door and there's nothing in there?
There's nothing in
Yeah.
Okay.
John?
So then Rick will be up front.
Remember, for this to work,
Okay.
no one should be in that room if we're going to
Why?
go with this like grenade strategy. Because like we
Nobody should be in the next room. You
Right.
got because we're gonna crack the door, throw it in, and close it.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Just
So
making sure.
basically, Nico's got to wire it up so it could be trigger fast. Which I suggest
Rapid
you
trigger.
try whatever technique you're going to do on this door with the other door first.
Yep.
So you know it'll work.
So Nico Orion's like, I learned this trick back in the old days when my dad was still around to teach me. And what he's going to do on the door panel, and before he goes over there, he's going to say, Doctor, okay, things might get messy. I think it'd be wise if you step back and we're on medical standby in case one of us goes down. You got to have that emergency heal ready.
I don't have emergency heal, but sure.
All right. Are we ready?
Wait, are we supercharging the grenade?
Yeah, because once we open it, initiative might start, right? So then I might not be able to do it in time.
So then Rick is going to have his artillery laser actually shifted over to his non-dominant hand. He's going to be holding the grenade in one hand back towards Heerz.
Oh, wait.
You guys
Just
gotta
like
make
his
sure
arm
it's
back.
not empty, though.
Couldn't he
Second?
Couldn't Heerz hold an action and have it trigger the moment that door opens just a crack? That would even supersede turn meter order, right?
Good point.
Yeah, I can hold my weapon. Like, I'll throw it since I think I have better decks than anybody else.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll throw it into the room, and so that's what I'm saying is I'm holding it back so that Heerz can supercharge it. And so yeah, I'll hold my action. So as soon as the door opens, I'm going to chuck it through the door into the middle of the room.
Okay.
So, and then Heerz can do the same, right? He can be like, if it opens and we see that there's an alien, he can then do the supercharge, right?
He can do what, sir?
He can then
He's gonna supercharge
based on the condition
the grenade.
that it opens and there's an alien or there's a gray bounder.
So Nico's opening the door.
Yep.
Sorry, right? And then as soon as it's open a little bit, you're going to look here to see if there's an alien, and if there is, Rick's just going to throw it, and if there's not,
I think we should
you're
just
gonna
throw the
supercharge it.
grenade without looking. That thing is, if it's in there, it's
Yeah,
in
it
there.
could be hidden.
It will cover the entire area, probably, from what you remember the size of the
All
room.
right, it's a risk worth taking using that spell slot,
Okay.
so I'll do it.
Okay, so you're going to supercharge the grenade.
Upon
I've
door.
never heard Heerz cast a spell, so yeah, I can just imagine. This is a tense moment. This is your way
All
out.
right. So Nico is going to use this trick that he knows as it's part of his hacker specialization, though,
Okay.
and he's going to create a computerized distraction in the door panel, so that way when it opens, it doesn't open all the way.
Okay.
So it only opens just a small amount, and then he'll quickly close it as soon as the grenade is back in there.
So give me a computer's check for that,
All right.
because otherwise you're going to have a door open all the way.
Oh yeah.
Natural 20?
15 plus 11, 26.
You are
Good job.
100% confident that when you press open on the door, you can control how much it will open.
Perfect.
So maybe you set it just for like the gap just large enough for Rick to
as
do
he
it.
does
Okay.
it, he immediately pulls up the screen to close right there. So his button is just over the close button.
So he's ready to just close
Yep.
it. Okay.
So Nico looks back one more time and says, "Are we ready?"
Good to go.
Heerz just nods intently.
And Nico looks back at everybody else. Rick nods.
Rick nods.
Doctor, okay?
Dr. OK.
Yes.
Will is nodding. Dr. OK nods. This is your way out.
Nico
No other doors.
turns back to the computer, and he just kind of goes with a little bit of smug satisfaction. Goes, quick fire, and he hits the button to open the door.
And that's our game. You knew it was coming. You knew it was coming.
Okay, but before we start the next episode, somebody tell us whether or not we can supercharge a grenade, because we can always revert back
Yeah.
before we do it.
Wait,
Super
no,
quick.
we should
Oh,
retcon
sorry,
that.
we won't.
We already did this.
Hey, this is Kevin. If you're listening to this podcast, you have probably played TTRPGs, right? So I want you to take a minute and think about your favorite character. Are they religious? Or are they spiritual? Or not at all? In the real world, I'm agnostic. But that's a conversation for another time. In the game, though, Rick has deep beliefs. We'll explore those later. But I want you to take a minute to think about your character. What have they experienced? Because in the Starfighter universe, gods definitely exist. Plural. Gods, multiple. I mean, in fact, some of them even ride the bus to work. But your character might not have ever seen that. They might not have ever been exposed to anything magical or spiritual, paranormal. So, what do they believe in? And why? It's just something to think about. Anyways, thank you so much for listening, and we'll catch you next week on Will Save.